Migo, I thought I'd show you a bit about our town, Melton. You can see on the map it's west of the city. It's, pretty flat here, but there's a lot of farmland still around. And it's a bit drier. They say we're in a rain shadow. So I went on a bus. If you look at the top right, you can see a star. And I'm just showing you some of the things around here. So you can follow the black line down to the other star. That's where the bus went. The reason I went on the bus is because they're doing some work on the train line, which I'll show you a bit later. So the town is about 70,000 people, and this is on the bus now. So there's, some nice open areas around the town, some large acreages, but it's not like Brisbane. There's some prickly pears you can see there. They've got a nice fruit, quite yummy. We get rain in the winter, so in the summer it's very dry, which is opposite to Queensland, where they get the summer rains. The bad thing is you get the dry and you get the hot at the same time, so you can get a lot of bushfires. But around here it's more grass fires. We don't have that much bush, but we do get bushfires, smoke from far, far away. So now we're coming into the town, and I thought it might be a good sort of thing if you're homesick for Australia to see some of the country. So this is on the eastern side of town. They built a new homemaker centre there. They're still kind of working on it, but some of their shops just got opened this year. There's an Office Works, there's Big Bunnings, Guzman and Gomez, Autobarn, a Porto, it's a takeaway place, Nene Chicken. Haven't been to that place yet. That's probably the biggest Bunnings that I've seen. It's really nice. And then across the road here, they're going to build some more shops. You'll see just here there's a bit of work going on there. And I don't know what they're going to do there, but it's more shops. This is in a newer volcanics area. So the soil is that sort of reddish colour. And now we're just going over the freeway, the Western Freeway, that goes to Melbourne. It's about 37 kilometres, and if you just drive a little bit past there, you actually can see the city, but not from this angle. We're about 130 metres above the sea level, which I think is a good thing. If the sea level does actually rise, then obviously it's going to be better to be a little bit higher. So I actually tell my kids they should try and buy a house out this way. But Melton used to have a bit of a bad reputation. It still does a little bit. It's a little bit poorer. It's a bit of drug problem, but it's changing. People are moving in because they're not that far from the city. If you go the same distance on the other side of the city, you have to go a long way to buy land at the same price. This is Tabcorp. It's a big harness racing place. Now, some of the locals say, and I'll show you some photos here in a second, some of the locals say that the government said they'd build this and develop this on the condition that the town receives a lot of refugees. I don't know if that's true or not. We do have a lot of refugees. This is the harness racing, just a picture. And what's cool about it is the restaurant basically is right on the window, so you can see the racers going past. Here's another, obviously, aerial photograph. I've been there once or twice. It's quite nice, very modern. Obviously cost a lot of money to build. Just a little bit further, there's an old landfill. It's got a funny hexagon shape. It's sort of behind the harness club, and the harness club owns this land, and they've been sort of pressured to sell it for development. So the landfill's about there somewhere, and I just hope that whoever buys it remembers there's a landfill and doesn't get a nasty surprise, because there has been some problems with people developing their landfills and the landfill gas, becoming problematic, and then big lawsuits and all the rest of it. And these buildings here, I think, are an aged care facility or something, or disability services. And now we're going along the freeway. The good thing about the freeway is you can kind of cut through town. If you go back to the start, you'll see it's kind of like got a few exits, so you can kind of skip the traffic of the town. So the station is about 2.5 kilometres out of the town. Now that seems a little bit silly, but the reason is there's a big river and they had to build a big bridge, and where they built the bridge was kind of like, the shortest span for the bridge. So where they built the bridge is kind of where the railway line went, and where the railway line went is where the station went. So it didn't follow the town, it followed the geography. Now we're coming off the freeway and back into town. People say that once you cross the freeway, it's a bit poorer on this sort of town. And once you cross the railway line, it is even more crime. So I don't know if it's true, but I do think this sort of town seems to get more crime. But in the big scheme of things, it's not like other countries. You can see a bit of hard garbage and this and that, but people are not living behind barbed wire fences or electric fences, or it's still pretty safe really. So on the other side of town, on the southeast side, they've done a lot of railway crossing removals, and now they're starting to do one on this side of town. So we're in the northwest. So my wife and I used to live in the southeast, and then we moved to the northwest, so kind of from one end of the town to the other, because it's cheaper over here to buy. So now they're doing a level crossing removal here. I understand the government sold the Port of Melbourne and got a lot of money for that, and they've committed to removing, it's something like 100 level crossing removals, and that's a lot of work, and it's made a lot of jobs, which is good, but it makes a lot of disruption. So I feel happy, but also a little bit annoyed, because when I lived the other side of town, we had all the disruptions, and then they finally finished it, and now I've moved here, and now it's starting. But look, I'm still happy overall. So basically, in some places they're building a railway under the road, but most places they're building a kind of a bridge. Now, if you see here, there's a Melton service station here, and then in a second you'll see a concrete batch plant. So when you see the concrete batch plant, just keep that in mind. We're heading south at the moment, and then you'll see the artist impression. There's the concrete batch plant, and you'll see the artist's impression of how it's going to look. So keep in mind where that batch plant is, and you'll see it in the picture. So now we're just crossing the railway, and it's going to be like a big bridge, and there's a concrete batch plant at the right. So that's going to be pretty cool. It's obviously going to save a lot of traffic congestion, and then there's another level crossing removal further down the track that they're also going to do. So Melton started in about 1860 something, and it was kind of a stop on the way to the goldfields in Ballarat. And now there's about 200,000 people in the council area, and now we're crossing the railway line, and there's about 70,000 in the kind of city, and I actually live in the middle of the city, so in Melton proper. And yeah, this is going to change, so this is kind of like something I want to keep for the future, show people how it used to be. Anyway, yeah, just thought I'd show you around. We're going to pull into the station in a second, and the people here want to keep the station because it's kind of pretty old, and but I understand it's going to be knocked down, so people are not happy. That's the shed, not the station, but that's where they sell like fertilisers and chook food, Melton produce. And you can see all the works here in the car park. They kind of blocked off the car park for all the construction. People wanted the station to be incorporated into the new station design, but they say it's termite infested, blah blah blah. Probably not, but anyway, they're going to knock it down. So it's a nice old station. It's a bike shed where you can lock up your bike, and now we're just pulling into the station. This is a taxi rank. Some dude got stabbed around here and died. So it's a bit of a rough area sometimes. That was some years ago, and yeah, once you cross the railway line, it gets a bit rougher too. So it's the old saying, on the other side of the tracks. But all in all, it's not a bad place to live. This is the old station, nice timber. I'm going to step inside. It's just a few people here walking a bit slower than I would. And then after this, I'm going to show you sort of what the new station's going to look like. And you'll see it's quite a change. And basically, this is all going to build a whole new station. It's going to be elevated, much more modern, all that sort of stuff. They refurbished this in 1998, but yeah, the building itself is from the 1880s or something. And that's what it looks like at the moment. It's even got an old fireplace chimney. And that's what the new one's going to look like. It's going to be like parkland, and obviously they might change a little bit here and there, but that's the artist's impression. So yeah, the other side of town, they've kind of built stations like this already. So it's pretty cool. But we don't have an electrified line yet. It's still diesel trains. And the government promised electrification, but then they run out of money. Personally, I like the V-line diesel trains. They're very comfortable. And anyway, man, hope you enjoyed my little video. Hope it's not too long. Have a good day. See ya.